Let's just hope we're recording with audio today. I recorded a video the other day and the video was fine, but there was no audio on it, none at all. That was a bit of a shame. I was going to send that to David, but hey, sorry David, that's why that video never arrived. I have the video, but unless you can lip read, you won't be able to understand what I'm telling you. I have a bit of a health update here, as seen by my little brace here, and it's one of those, it's kind of weird that we all seem to have little health issues right now. Julia has an issue with her shoulder, and she's had that for quite a few weeks. 2 weeks ago she went to see the doctor. The doctor said, wow, this could be anything, but let's do an MRI scan. So that has to happen stat. Please, assistant, go authorize this immediately. Never heard back from the insurance people. Insurance haven't authorized it. Sadly, she couldn't go to an appointment and have that scan. Bizarre stuff. Now, doctor's office doesn't get back. So much fun, isn't it? Dealing with those types of scenarios there. Anyway, so that's her shoulder. Patrick has an issue with his shoulder. That's also grim. It just sounds grim. It's never nice when that happens, and you use your shoulders for everything and anything, really terrible. Christina's having chemotherapy right now, and it doesn't sound pretty either, and you think, my goodness, what are we all doing? And I have a really minor thing, but it is kind of minor compared to all these other things, but it is major in regards to my day job, because it impacts the way I can or cannot do my job, which is, weird. So luckily it doesn't affect my ability to do things on the computer. That's really nice. But I have an issue with my thumb. So literally my thumb here is affected by two things that I have to do at work all the time. So one is that I'm right-handed, so as such I do pick things up with my right hand, and usually what I do is I take a jar of mayonnaise or that 40-ounce pot of peanut butter, which is like 2 pounds. I pick that up like that from the shelf. I go then scan it. Phone is usually my left hand. I scan it with that and then I put it in a bag. So that often happens with my right hand, and as such with my thumb. So that's one thing that is impacted. It's a little bit like carpal tunnel, the onset of arthritis, that sort of thing. And arthritis is not something that young people like me living in the warm climes of South Florida usually get, but it was a side effect of my immunotherapy treatment. So I've had, if you recall, about a year ago or maybe 6 months ago or so, I had this thing with my wrist. So that was a very similar brace I was wearing, and that was impacting literally this bit of my arm. So it impacted this movement and that movement. I also had something similar during my treatment with my left hand, because I used that to empty my colostomy back then, and I had to make that kind of a weird movement like this to kind of grasp that, and that was agonizing, like literally totally agonizing. So I know how quickly these types of pain can escalate from a mild niggle to something. You make the wrong movement and you think you're gonna die. It's like this whole lower back pain thing. Luckily, touch wood, I'm not suffering from that, but I know what that's like when people go, any sudden or even not so sudden movement in the wrong direction can literally kick this off and make it really, really painful. So that's one thing, grabbing things. And the other, quite weirdly, is that I hold my phone often in my right hand, and I have to scroll up and down this long list. It's a UITableView that's presented there with all the items that I have to purchase, and then I click on an item, shows me a large view, and then I go scan it, and I have to scroll up and down the list all the time with my thumb, and that is what's aggravating it. So there's basically these two joints here, this one and the one below. So this one and that one, those are the ones that are affected, and me doing this movement all the time, that affects it, and that brings it on. That's what makes this really painful. And those two things together, it's weird. It's almost like I have to quit my day job or have a little rest from my day job for a week or two just for that to calm down. So I invested in this brace for now to at least remind me to take it easy and find different ways of scrolling up and down the list. For example, not use my thumb, but instead holding my phone this way and then just scrolling up and down with another finger for the time being. And with the picking up things, well, I'll just have to go and see if I have to do this with either like this, not using my thumb so much, or using both hands and finding a different way of scanning it. But yeah, so that is something that's going on that I've noticed, and let's just see where it goes. I thought I'd make a mental note of it and you know, video entry of that. And in so doing, I also thought that one thing I haven't actually done, and this is a good reminder note to myself to do this, to create a playlist that is just about health updates. So any video that I make in regards to health, that goes in there, so that I have a long-term observational record of, well, how I'm doing, what's been creeping in. It's a good opportunity to go through old videos and put them in there and categorize them, because often I tend to just mention a health update in the middle of some tech jabber, and that may not be helpful for me going forward. So I think I'm going to go split these things out, that I have health updates kind of encapsulated in literally just a health statement, and then tech stuff that'll just go in other videos. I think that'll be good.